So in this video, I'm going to create an element that uses states. So I'm going to create a new project. Let's call it states. Okay. What I want to do is create a button that has two states. It's going to have a state for adding and then a state for closing. So I want to create a new element and I'll just call it button. Okay, and over in app I can actually, sorry, let me set this to be about 100. Well, I'll set it to be 100 by 100. So that's the size of the button, and let me drag this button in here. You can't actually see it because it's white, but let's go and add some stuff to the button so we can see what's going on. I want this to be a round button, so I could use an ellipse like this. Width 100, height is equal to width. There you go. And that's fine. And maybe we could do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a rectangle, and I'm going to set the radius to be width divided by 2. And the reason I want to do that here is because we're going to add shadows, and at the moment in Zing, rectangles are a bit more feature complete than ellipses. So it's just something to be aware of. If you're making a circle, it's often better to do it as a rectangle and set the height and width to be the same, and the radius is half that. I'm sure that's going to change over time, but right now it's kind of easier this way. Let me set the color to be green. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is I'm going to make this a plus icon on here. So I could do that in Sketch. I could create an icon, but let's just make it out of a few rectangles. So width of this will be 4, height, I don't know, 64, and let me anchor that in the center. Set the color to be white. Let me give it a radius, width divided by 2. Let me copy this, and we'll make the other one. I'll just swap these around, so 64 and 4. Okay, so there's our plus indicator in the icon. Okay, so that's the sort of first state. That's the add state, and we're going to have another state which I'll call close. So what Zing has is built-in state machines. So you just click down here on states, and this states panel lets you add those states. So I'll make the first state add, which is this one that we're in right now, the default state, and I'll add a new state. We'll call this close. Okay, so these are the two states that our button will support at the moment. And these state machines are available in both the code and the design. So what it means is you can set different properties for add and close, or whatever states you have, you can set the properties that you want, and those properties will update depending on which state the state machine's in. Right now it's in add, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to include a gesture handler. So if I do width gesture tap, we'll just call this as tap. You can call that what you like. It could be button or whatever. Anyway, so what this is doing is it's adding gesture support to this, and what that means is that it will now accept button clicks. So when I click on this, it will actually be able to interact. You'll be able to interact with it. So what I actually want to do here is that when I click on it, I want to move from the add to the close state. So I'll add a state transition. So just drag an arrow between these two states, and I want it to change from add to close when that tap gesture is tapped. Okay, so now it's in add, and when I tap on this button, you'll see that it moves to close. Okay, if I tap it again, it doesn't go anywhere, and that's because there's no transition back to add. You could add a transition back to add, or you can just hit auto reverse, and what that'll do is it will just take the same transition and work in both, like it'll reverse it back to the other direction when that event happens. Okay. Now, we've got the two states. What can we do with them? Like, we'll add, what I might do is I'll add rotation. So rotation in the add state, we want that to be 0 degrees. And rotation in the close state, we want to be 45 degrees. So what that means is it's going to rotate this button from 0 to 45 degrees when we swap into the closed state. So let's see what happens. When I do that, you can see that it's rotating by 45 degrees. Now, because it just snaps, it's not very natural in a way. So let's go and add a state transition. If I select that transition, I can go over here and choose an easing. Right? So I'm going to enable this easing, and now you'll see that it goes between those two states and it's animating between them. Okay, let me try adding a spring animation. Okay, so that's kind of cool, but maybe it's a bit too much. So you can increase the friction. Let me increase the friction so it just goes a little over the top, maybe a bit less. Yeah, so it kind of goes over and it overshoots a little bit and comes back. I think that looks kind of cool. So, what else do we want? Let's change the color. So this green color, we actually only want that to be green in the add state. And when it's in close, let's make it red. So let's see how that works. Okay, that's looking all right. It's toggling between those states fine. But what I think would be nice is if we could have an additional state, which is when you're pressing it. It'd be kind of nice if it, I don't know, if it either grew or shrunk a bit, just sort of show that you're tapping on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another state machine here to handle the pressed and not pressed state. So let me call this not pressed, and we'll create another state called pressed. Okay, so by default it's not pressed, and we want it to go into the pressed state when this tap gesture detects that it's been pressed. So again, I'll auto reverse it, but I'll say it's when tap dot is pressed. So if you watch this state machine, when I press this button, now while I'm pressing it, it's there, and when I release it goes back to not pressed, pressed, not pressed, pressed, not pressed. Okay, so now we can do stuff like scale at pressed 0.9. So when I do that, it should shrink. And again, we don't have a transition there. So let's add an easing curve to that. I don't think I'll use the spring curve for that. I'm going to create a new easing. You can name these as well. So I'll call that spring. And I'll just call this smooth. And in this case here, I want this to be the smooth transition. So it just shrinks down. Okay. That's all right. I don't know, maybe I should make it 0.95. It looks a bit too dramatic to me. Yeah. That looks fine, I think. What would be kind of cool and maybe a little bit different is if in addition to just changing color, what if we changed the color of the cross to red and we sort of expanded out a white circle. Let's give that a go. Rectangle. I'll say I'm going to say the width width in the add state is 0, and the width in the closed state, I don't know, I think it's 72. That might not be right. Height, we just want it to be width. We want it to be like that. So let's see how that looks. So, okay, we need to center it. Anchor center. We also need to make it white color. White. Oops, sorry. White, and we need a radius of width divided by 2. Okay, that's interesting. That looks promising. I think it'll need to be a bit, well, let's leave it like that for now. But let's transition these arms. I might name these as arm 1. So these are the arms of the cross. Arm 2, just so we know what they are. And this is the white fill. Let me change this color in the closed state to be red. Color, close, red. I don't know, let's see how this looks. Okay, that looks good, but I think that needs to be a bit bigger. Let's make it 80. That's starting to look alright, I think. I kind of like that. I think let's leave it as like that for now.